Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's the Merce and Nurse Show, episode 21.
21.
And we're coming to you on today's July 2nd. And in 2 days, it'll be July 4th. So
America's
when y'all
birthday.
watch this, it's going to be 4th of July. So happy 4th of July to y'all. Be safe, be careful, enjoy it.
Yes.
But if you're watching this, most people who watch this
and it's a
are
full moon.
nurse.
It's a full moon.
There's also a nurse. One's watching this, right? So
Yeah.
we will be working. I'm working. Don't worry.
Everybody's off for 2 days.
So we're gonna be there. We're gonna have all those patients coming in. We're like, hey guys, I held that black cat for too long. I'm like, oh well, your finger's missing. Where's your finger at?
Probably, that's what's gonna happen. Or you're gonna have the people falling into the fires.
Oh yeah,
So,
burns. That's a good one.
So get the Silvadene ready. Get the wraps ready.
The fluids.
And
do you know, like, based off how much, like, a body percentage of your burn, there's a calculation, and it tells you how much fluids to resuscitate you by.
Really?
Yeah, it's a lot. It's actually a lot.
Let's hope everyone stays safe and and also to the firemen and policemen going to people's neighborhoods and having to
tell them to
stop. Are the firemen having to put out fires?
Well, you know, Seguin, they're doing the $2,000 up to $2,000 fine. I saw 2,000
for popping
in,
like
in
illegal
in the city limits.
Well, I already told my youngest, that's on you because don't come over here with all that because I ain't going to jail for you. I already go to work there.
But no. So 4th of July is coming up. Let's say be safe out there. If you're gonna drink, hydrate. Don't.
Yeah.
If you're gonna float,
don't drive.
Don't drive. Don't ride a bike.
Don't go to jail because you probably won't see the magistrate until like Wednesday. So if you go in today or tomorrow, you're going to be there for a while. So
yeah.
Boo on you.
But you know what reminds me about the whole fluids we talked about just a second ago? So I don't know if you might know this, but about 200 cc's, 200 milliliters of pee in your bladder, it starts stressing, starts stretching it, right?
So like make you feel like you got to go to the restroom?
And that there's the receptors in there, sends a signal, goes up to your brain. Oh, I got to go pee.
Yeah.
About 200 cc's.
Okay. Yeah.
There was one patient, dude, this brother, and he doesn't have feeling down there, right? And so he normally he self-caths to empty his bladder. Well, the catheter he had was clogged, so we had to put a new one. And so we put this.
Because is he paralyzed? Is that what? When you say no feeling, I mean it's not just his private.
No, he can't feel from just his
like
in the middle, back, all the way to his legs, paralyzed. And so I'm like, hey brother, I'm gonna give this. I'm gonna start a catheter. We can get some fluid off you because we did a bladder scan. And the bladder scan showed about 800 to 850 cc's. So that's a lot of urine in there. So like, all right. And you know what? He could feel the pressure. And I'm like, it must be intense.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not saying like, thankfully that he wasn't like, he couldn't feel the pain because he can't really feel much down there. Yeah. But if he could, man, he would have been screaming, I tell you.
Yeah.
So I put the catheter in him. Also, I got it. Urine's coming out. I inflate the balloon, leave it. I'm watching the bag just fill up, right? And usually you get a little, maybe 200, 300 cc's.
It just kept coming out.
It just kept coming. I was just like, I was getting to the point, I'm like, damn, I need to empty this sucker.
I need someone to give me another urinal. No,
we got about 1,100 cc's out. But you know what's crazy? He just sat there. He was just, like, you know how like you're on a road trip and you're holding the pee to go to the restroom because some people don't want to.
You even start getting sometimes the shakes or like little spasms.
Sweating, dude. Yes. And so he's just sitting there, and so he's like, I feel so much better. I'm like, I'm glad we were able to help you.
But so how? I'm just curious, how much could a bladder hold?
That's an interesting question.
Especially, I know with us, we would probably pee on ourselves. So, but someone like him.
That's an awesome question because I was talking to one of the nurses and we actually asked that. We're like, hey, what would happen?
Yeah.
If, like, how much is too much? And she was saying pretty much it just gets so much that it starts coming out. Like it pushes through the sphincters there. Yeah.
Will it ever backflow? I know that sounds like a weird question, but I mean that's like like would it ever go into your uterus or?
I mean, I wouldn't doubt it.
I don't know, but that's crazy. I'm just thinking, especially for someone who's paralyzed.
Imagine that 1100 cc. If y'all don't know that, that's a whole liter of fluids right there. Like the fluids you go in, like, oh, I'm feeling tummy aches, or I'm dehydrated. They gave you a fluid. Imagine all of that
just holding
shoved in your bladder. That's what I'm trying to say. I feel so bad.
I always hear like inside jokes, like people who work in the hospitals about the bladder scanner.
Yeah.
Are those hard to find? Because that's like the inside joke. Like
if you're on another floor, for us, we make sure we keep all the stuff there. Because you kind of need to for us.
Like, but I always hear that joke, like, "Where's the bladder scanner?"
No, seriously, like if medical or because what was it? It was a year or so back that I was on the medical floor and we needed a bladder scanner. So they said, "No, go down to ER, check it out." So I went to ER and I had to sign it out. Yeah. And because they know who has it.
Yeah.
And then I brought it. And when I was done with it, I brought it back down and signed it back in. But but ER, like everybody comes and takes our crap.
I was gonna say, yeah.
But no, it's like we have like one of our EK machines is down, and we talked about the Lucas before, right? The compression, the CPR device.
Oh yeah.
You've seen it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So ours is broken at the moment. We need a new part for it, which costs about like $8,000. And so
you're gonna have to go old school and just do the "Staying Alive" song.
so we got a loaner, and we have a loaner Lucas device, and I'm only bringing it up.
And for those that don't know, it's like when you do CPR, it does the compressions for you.
Yeah,
it's like this.
If y'all haven't seen it,
it's like a robot.
Google Lucas compression device.
Yeah, and it's what the EMS carry and stuff.
You're being amazed. But so we carry it. And so whenever there's a code anywhere in the hospital, ER has their code team that goes out. Doc, the ER nurse, and then the tech. So somebody grabs the gladoscope, so they can intubate. Like I said, because ER has everything. Yeah. So we're taking everything. And then we're taking the Lucas device. And so I remember it was a couple weeks ago. We had a code on the floor, and so we took off. And my nurse was like, "No, take the gladoscope." And so I had the gladoscope, and so I'm rolling it, and like we started running, like we're walking fast, like good fast paced jog, and then but from where we are to where we get to the elevators, it's a long hallway, and so we start going, and we're like, oh, they gotta pick it up. So I'm running with this gladoscope, right? And I'm running, and I'm just like, in my mind, I'm imagining me tripping with the thing and breaking this $10,000 machine.
Hey, or like, when you go to HEB, you get that one basket that is on what's wobbling the wheel.
But thankfully this one was good. But no, we finally got got there, and we got up to the floor. Yeah, and I'm right there, and we get there, and like, there's so many people outside the door, right? Yeah. And so outside the door, that they come in like, "Hey, where's the Lucas? Where's the gladoscope?" I come around the corner right here. Yeah. And then they're like, "Where's the Lucas?" And we're like, "Oh, it's broken." And everyone's like, "Oh, what?" But there's like 20 people. We're like, "Dude, like y'all can start compressing." Like, but they didn't need to compress. He had a pulse. Yeah. It's just he was just crashing really fast.
But they were just used to that being part. Yeah. Right?
And then all of a sudden we see another nurse from the ER comes up, and he has the Lucas, and we're like, "Dude, hey, like it's broken, man." He goes, "Oh no, this is our loaner." And he turns it. It's a big old red tag. It says loaner. And we're like, "Oh, we have one now." But so just a heads up, we have a loaner. But I didn't know that.
Well, they don't want that sucker to get misplaced.
No, dude. And so,
but were you like, we're going old school, dudes? Like, come on, staying alive.
Dude, I'm walking in there. I'm like, let's get going, bro. Yeah. But there was so many people already piling in there, and they already had a pulse, and so they're like. The biggest thing is that he started having some agonal breathing, and so they intubated him. Yeah. But I mean, he had the rhythm and everything. I think it was like he was AFib RVR, and he just started losing consciousness because it was going too fast. Yeah. But anyways, funny story about that. Like I said, I was just running with that. I mean, you could just see me. It looks like you're pushing a shopping cart. Because it has it handled, and we were just do, and everyone starts like slowly going faster than they want to. So we just by the time we got halfway down the hallway, I mean, if you could just imagine, imagine it like this. Have you seen how like when like you're driving a car, right? And it's a 2-lane. I mean, like side by side, and it goes to one and merges.
Yeah.
And so one fills up, and one goes fast. Like you doing this, right? That's what we started doing. We're like, and we're just running, dude. Oh my god! And we got there, and I mean everything's already done and settled.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, try to catch your breath in the elevator, and they're like, you better get ready to start compressing. I'm like, yeah, I'm ready. I'm just saying, there's 30 people out here.
Yeah,
they saw us just running down a hall. They can at least jump it for at least 1 round of compressions until, you catch your breath. But have you seen the memes of people like doing the CPR and like afterwards, just like,
yeah.
Dude, so I had to get my ACLS, right? In the ER, you gotta have ACLS in your PALS, which is the for the pediatrics and right. Anyways, I went to the hospital. I did my online coursework, and I had to go do my skills portion.
Yeah.
And so I'm in there. We have this really nice setup. You have the mannequin, the child, and the adult, and it's hooked up to the computer. So the skill session is walking you through everything. It's like maybe an hour-long process. And what you have to do 6 rounds. Not 6 rounds. It's 12 total rounds of compressions with the breathing, with the 2 rescuer back and forth. But you're going to town, right?
Yeah.
And dude, the room is hot. And so I'm in there going to town, and I finish it. I finish my ACLS. I'm like, oh yeah. And so I go over the PALS. I'm expecting it to be just the kids, right? But no, you have to do all over again. The adult, the child, and then the pediatric, and then the baby.
Yeah.
All compressed in a whole another 12 rounds. And dude, when I walked out of there, I'm sweating my butt off. And people are looking at me like, you okay? I'm like, I'm looking at them like, ACLS. And they're like, oh, we got you, man. We got you.
Yeah. Because I don't know.
It was wild.
Yeah. I don't know if people really know, like when they see, like the EMS.
Like the movies.
Yeah. They come, but it's
it sucks.
It's not just like that. It's very, I mean, you really have to, it's a lot of endurance.
Because you're trying to do a good compression, nice and deep to help pump the blood.
Yeah.
And it has to be a constant rate, 100 to like 120 beats, right? And you're trying to mimic the heart's job, which is amazing. Because you take a step back, like your heart's doing this right now. Like your heart is literally pumping, however fast it's pumping right now, either 60 to 100 beats a minute. It does not stop. Your heart does not stop until you die or cardiac.
Exactly.
But you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
But your heart's, it's really amazing. The heart's an amazing organ. But it's right here, the heart. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's true. And but you have to.
Yeah, so you're just going to town, baby. And whenever they're like, all right, because you kind of allow. Once you hit that 30, then you stop and then you give the breaths.
Yeah.
But if you have an advanced airway, so like if you're intubated, you don't stop for breaths. The breaths are just and it's just consistent. Keep going, yeah. So you're like, and that's why we love the Lucas device.
Yeah, because and if not, I mean, you have to help your partners out and switch off, and it
sucks sometimes. Yeah. But do you know, like, the Lucas device, only a certain size a person can fit? You know what I'm talking about? You know what?
I thought I heard that, like, when you're really obese, it's not gonna be able to go around.
And that's kind of what sucks. So you because that's what you really want it for, because it's different. You think about, like, if you're doing CPR on a child, someone small,
it's different, right?
It's much easier.
You can,
compared to someone who's very overweight, obese, because now you're trying to push through everything to pump that heart. So but Google the Lucas device if you don't know what it is.
Yeah, it looks kind of scary when you see it.
I know we talked about organ donation before, right? I know you're an organ donor.
No.
Why? Hold on. Whoa. Why?
I don't know. I'm just not. And not because I wouldn't. I don't know. I think.
Don't worry. After this episode, we will register you online because
my heart skips beats as it is. Who wants to get my heart that's going to be skipping beats?
I'm just saying everyone should be one. Okay.
They get my skin. My corneas.
The whole point I'm trying to make is, we had there was a patient who passed away. He was intubated, but he was clinically brain dead, and so the family were to care. Well, and the family chose to donate his organs.
Now, was he already an organ donor?
The family chose at that point?
Because there's people that talk to them, right?
Yes. They'll go. It's called ATOSA, the Texas Organization, Texas Organ sharing a line. I don't know.
So
everybody knows TOSA. They
someone
call
talks
them
to
the
me.
vultures of the ICU.
You're
They're
like-
just floating around waiting for the person to die.
They're walking on the clipboard, circling around. Okay.
But I mean, in all reality, because I know people, there's a very misconception about organ donation. Because one of the biggest ones is people think, oh, if I have the organ donation, they're not going to save me.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that plenty.
Which is not true because, if you die out in the field, your organs are worthless to us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
We have to keep you alive.
Yeah, because we don't know how long they found you like that.
Yeah.
In what circumstances.
Well, I don't mean that. I mean, like, okay, so a car accident.
Yeah.
You're in a very bad car accident. People are like, oh, if they see organ donation, they're not going to want to save you.
Yeah.
Well, if they let you just die, I mean, let's say your organs stop getting perfused.
Yeah.
It starts dying. So, and there's no use to nobody.
Yeah.
So, no, they're going to do everything they can to keep you alive. But when it comes to a point to where you're clinically brain dead, then that's where that concept comes in. Like, you know what? They're no longer here.
Yeah.
They're never going to get off this vent, get off this artificial feeding.
Yeah.
When you want to donate. And in doing so, backtrack. I learned that the nurses on the floor, this was when I was in the ICU, that they can ask us about donation, but if they want to have that conversation, we can just call the TOSA people, the nurses there,
and they'll come out
because they're specifically trained to talk to families about because I mean it's not an easy talk. People are like, hey, can we have your family's organs? We're gonna let them die so we can take it. Like that's not an easy conversation.
And also, you think like, and I'm just gonna say it because I don't know my grandma listens, but certain like her being Catholic, she believes that when you die, your body should go all together.
Yeah,
and like not cremated. So I'm sure there's also religion.
I would get burnt.
Religious aspects.
But
to it.
But anyway, so long story short, this guy, because of his donation, he gave 3 other people lives. He gave both his kidneys, so each one went to a different person in Texas. Because they told us where.
But they stay in the state or
anywhere.
They can go anywhere.
Whoever's on the list.
Yeah.
Usually it's the biggest ones, the state stuff in the house, because there's a lot of people in the state alone that needs an organ. So thinking about that, this person is on hemodialysis 3 times a week because they need a kidney. Yeah. And now that person doesn't have to go 3 times a week.
Yeah.
They have a working kidney. Yeah. And then they donate his heart to a gentleman. Now he has a heart. You know what I'm trying to say? Like he gave somebody life.
Yeah.
So and the sadness and the people look at it as, yes, it is sad, it's dark, but at the same time, out of that is life.
But he helped extend 3 people's lives.
Yeah. And then I think something else went to science for them to study.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Which I think is pretty cool.
I
know we told Grandpa to go.
Yeah. I know, and my mom was like, what do they do with the body? What? But you know what? But it's for students. They preserve things. They may just study the brain. Like I took care of a lady one time. She had, I forgot what her disease process, but it was that actor. He was Dudley Moore. He had some kind of a progressive brain disease. This lady had it. So her family, well, it was up to this one lady. And I remember her family saying she chose when she died, specifically, she wanted to donate her body, but the brain specifically went to that research. And then after a year, then they'll cremate you and stuff. But I mean, we don't have people like that. How do you find out things?
Exactly. Coming like because I mean back in the old days, they actually they took the bodies and they did experiments on them. That's how they learned what happened next.
And this is consent. People are like, but like I said,
well, back then it wasn't. But now, it's like, hey, can everybody? But I didn't know that too. Like if you donate to science, like after a certain time, they actually cremate you and they give you ashes.
They bring you back. And I mean, you and I know someone personally. One of my husband's
a cadaver. That'd be cool.
Yeah, one of my husband's cousins. His little boy was born with polycystic kidney disease.
Yep.
And up until, and they told him like when he would turn a certain age, he would definitely need a kidney.
Yep.
So, and it's so hard to get one. I remember there's this website where you make it personable. And I remember they did like this little photo shoot and they just talked about, it made it more personable because you can donate one, be a life donor. and he did get one, and he is so smart. Like you just know that he's going to contribute to society with his knowledge. Yeah. So yeah, it's that's pretty awesome.
You know, it's hard sometimes because then you do hear those that you hear those that actually do take the organ, and it kind of goes to waste sometimes.
I do know this girl that says her uncle, he got a kidney, and she says he's still, a liver or something, and he's still an alcoholic.
Yeah.
And that kind of just makes me sad. Like, but you know, and then you also hear like, I don't know if all this is true, but like in the Philippines or some country, like a lot of people are like, they have scars. Oh. And the rich European like people.
Well, dude,
they give them like pennies on the dollar for their kidney.
We're gonna make another episode about this.
Isn't that crazy?
So much you can do.
That makes me so sad.
Well, not just that. You know about this the black market of the organ.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. And it's this. I remember seeing a little documentary.
Well, I'm not talking about like them getting paid for them. I'm talking about
they just
kidnapped, take the kidnap, and you wake up in the ice bath in some hotel, and your kidney's gone.
And some rich man has your heart. I mean, or your kidney or your pancreas or something.
Dude, that is wild.
But that one country, they were like by the river, and a lot of them had scars on like their kidneys. And I was going,
it's not funny. It's not funny. But which reminds me, did you know? I remember.
Look, I don't know what we're laughing at. I'm just laughing because when someone says it's not funny, you laugh.
I think it was like I was in the Marines with my guys, and we were talking about something. And I don't know how we got on a subject, but we're talking about because you can donate a testicle, and like a tattoo. It was like
the girls and their
was
eggs.
like $5,000 for one testicle, and dude, we were sitting there. We were like, what can I do with $5,000?
Not a lot nowadays.
Well, I mean,
here
you can, but we're talking about like the black market. Like, I was like, $5,000. What can you do for one testicle? I don't need one.
Yeah, or it's like these college girls who donate their eggs.
Oh yeah,
and they get paid pretty good. And you're thinking, but then you're gonna have kids out there. Well, I don't know. I guess whatever.
You can do. This is a deep rabbit hole you can go down.
Yeah. It could be good, but anyway. So
before we keep going off subject, I want to say, I really, we've talked about this before. Before I started, working at the hospital, like especially in the small town, I started seeing more people, right?
Yeah.
And we've talked about how it does, put people at ease, seeing this familiar face, right? Dude, I cannot tell you. I saw like almost like 8 people that I know. Half of them are like, they're like this looking at me. They're like, are you Barbara's son? I'm like, oh my God.
Like I know you from somewhere, right?
Yes. And like,
and you're like, don't worry, I ain't gonna tell my mom nothing.
Well, yeah, I'm like, don't worry, I won't tell. But
it's HIPAA.
But yeah, and I'm like, and it's so crazy because you see so many people.
Yeah.
But like they look at me and they're like, oh, well, I feel better now, and they actually do because there's this one guy that I know him from back when I used to work as a mechanic, and he was there and he was like Noah, and I'm like, and he was my patient, right?
Yeah.
So I come in with all my stuff, and I'm reading his what's going on. Hey, I'm so and so, I'm being nurse, and he goes, Noah, and I'm like, oh, what's up, buddy? And so we started talking, and dude, swear, like like his blood pressure dropped like
he just
20
relaxed
points.
being in there.
Yes, and it was like that was the first one they actually hit me. Like it, it's true what they say. And so it was cool though. He was like, "Oh man, nice to see you." I'm like, "Yeah, well, not here, but nice to see you."
Yeah, it does put a little ease to them because they're
But there's so many people that look at me like, "Are you related to Diane? Or are you related to Jerry? Or are you related to Barbara?" I'm like,
"Yeah,
that's my mom, that's my uncle, that's my grandma, that's my grandpa." And they're like, "Oh," and I feel so like afraid sometimes because like they're like, "Oh, we gotta do a Foley or gotta do a IV on them," and I'm like, "Well." Hi.
But you just got to push that aside, right? I mean, for anybody in nursing or in nursing school,
at this point,
you just push it aside. You just you don't even think anything of that. You just do it.
Well, it's just like you just care. You have for like the women, like you know, every patient that come in, we try to put them in a gown. And put them
give
on
them some.
And they look and they're like, ma'am, I don't care what you got. I don't care. Like. I just care about yourself. Let's just get you figured out. That's what I care about. But like, I feel like it's how you hold yourself. You know what I'm talking about? Like, it's you come into the room, you can be like, oh, like, hi. So I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, of course, I'm like, hey, like, I can help you if you want. I can go get a woman. I can step out. What do you want me to do?
Yeah.
But it's just professionalism.
Yeah.
And But a lot of times, people are there and they're already having a bad day. And, when you're having a bad day, you don't even care who's there. Just make them feel better. You know what I'm talking about?
And I always believe in eye contact. I do. I think that's a big part too. You just give them like, instead of, you know how some doctors go and they're like this writing. I think you should just stop and just listen and just make eye contact. Cause it just, I've always been like that. I think people are shady when they're not looking at me in the eyes. I'm like, or I get upset. Like, you can wait. I know you got to ask, but just listen to my main concern and then do, but when you start,
but then sometimes there are those who don't want to have a 30-minute conversation, and I'm like, sir.
Yeah, that's true. Though.
What do you need? What's hurting? Well, son, ours started in 1966.
Yes, isn't that true?
I'm like,
they will go back to back in what year are we?
I'm saying, I'm
2000.
Like,
you're like, dude, that's 23 years ago.
I'm like, sir, what's happening right now? Like, what's going on right now that you need help with?
Yeah,
but.
Yeah, I know. But you got to do it like in a professional way, right? I'm sure you've done that. You're like, okay, but like right now, I read you had pain because they want to talk about when they were in Nam and they got shot in the shoulder and they have a fragment of a bullet.
But because I ask like sometimes like some of the pains. I'm like, hey, have you ever felt this before?
Yeah.
So I kind of already do open that door for the past. But then they go and they tell me, yes, I felt this before. But it was because I drink so much alcohol, and I'm like, and all these burgers, or I had this, or I got in a fight, I kicked in my stomach. I'm like, did that happen today? No? Okay, so it probably is not relevant, boss.
And this is crazy in jail, and I think this is funny that we had this guy come, very nice young guy, I say, but because I feel like I'm old. And anyways, and he, before you know it, he had we had to give him a post-op shoe on the order. So we got an order, whatever, and I gave it to him and I said, going through his chart, I'm like, why does he need this? Well, and we did an x-ray. Well, he broke his foot. Oh, okay. I'm thinking like, was it doing? I told him, I said, was it like during a police chase or something? He goes, no, I broke it 2 years ago. I'm like, and you need a post-op and an x-ray? Well, because my foot hurt. And then he came back to the doctor, another call, which is, $15 is that, like, if you can keep going to the doctor there, your family's hooking you up. And then he goes, hey, miss, he ordered me an insole. And I looked, sure enough, he did. So I gave it to him. Well, every time I go get him his meds, I'm just going to say his name's Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith, why aren't you ever wearing your post-op that we had to get for you? Well, I went for the insole. We got the insole thing. Why aren't you wearing it? Well, they wear these generic little
slides,
Crocs or whatever.
Yeah.
But what I'm just laughing because it's like years ago, this one guy has his finger, when you break it and it's all kind of like picked up a little pinky.
Yeah.
And he had the doctor write an order. We have to wrap it with, Coban, like a little stick and a Coban. And I said, how long ago did this happen? And he's a frequent flyer there. And he's like, oh, like 3 years ago. Well, why are we doing it? Well, I want surgery. All of a sudden they want surgery. So I just think it's like, so at the jail, I just told my son, this guy, the same guy with the fingers, like, I'm going to go to the doctor because I want a knee replacement. Knee replacement? Well, I might as well get it done here. I'm like, guys, like maybe I should, I was teasing about my mom. I said, maybe my mom should do a little petty crime so she can get, her eye, like the glaucoma surgery.
I mean, now you can because apparently the jail's so overfilled. They're letting people out early.
Yeah, probably because, and I said you should let the ones that are at their sick call every week. But yeah. But I just thought that was funny. If there's always something wrong with people, hypochondriacs.
Dude, like there's a lot of those. Oh my God, especially being in the ER now, like.
But and it's crazy because they go to the ER, like I guess they don't care about costs. Like they just don't worry about it. Like they'll make $5 payments. I don't know how they do it.
I really don't. I don't know how.
I mean, it's not for us to decide. But what I'm saying
is, I'm not trying to.
But it's little
judge,
things.
But,
yeah.
Well, I mean, especially when you got these freaking flyers, right?
Yeah.
Like I said, I understand. Yes, maybe we need something better, a community clinic to help.
That's when you're like, you need the mental side.
But we use so much resources, so much time and beds that other people who need actual help, like if you like, there's people who have these. It's called a cannabis hyperemesis syndrome.
When they smoke
and it's just
too much, they get sick.
If I'm like on the record, you've been here 8 times for the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Stop smoking. Like,
isn't that weird? I've heard about that.
It's
yeah,
wild. But
it's like, what do you want us to do for you?
yeah,
yeah.
I'm like, and I can tell you, cut down on this marijuana, and like, no, I'm like, okay, like I don't know what you want me to say. Like,
but
what do you want me to do?
We need to do we'll do an episode about mental health too, because like my husband, a quick story,
Oh my
they built
gosh.
this new walkway. It's a real nice one. It extends from like our library down to the park, and there's like a little tunnel underneath. It's real pretty. They fixed it. My husband runs all the time. So he said, hey, the other day I went under the little tunnel and there was this man, and his bike was right next to him, and he was sitting there. Basically, from the way I know and I take care of these type of people, he was high, and because he did have a pipe next to him, whatever. So my husband, that's not don't know anything about things like that. He was really concerned, and he was like, people were just like passing by him. Yeah, because you don't know how they're gonna react, husband.
No.
So, anyways, my husband called the cops just for help, And he's like, well, I didn't want him to get in trouble, so I kicked his crack pipe into the
he told me that,
water.
and I kind of went off him. I'm like, listen,
I did too.
I said, if he was having an opioid overdose, or she's having some
He wouldn't have been
crisis,
able to sit up like that.
I said we need to know what he's taking.
Yes.
We need a blood test, but it's much easier. It's so much easier
if they
it's
show you
there.
the pipe and you're like, crack.
And they can they can do a quick field test.
Yeah,
And, hey,
exactly.
Is this drug in this one, right?
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Yes, we can do the lab work and the drug screens to find out
But
what's
if you
in it.
kind of have an idea what it is,
It's easier to treat. Yeah, and I'm like, dude, like, but that's something also too. Like, I know we're coming close to the end of the show, but like, there's like the people that I'm talking. Like, I gotta ask these questions, right?
Yeah.
You ever smoke? Ever drink? Ever do drugs? And everyone's like, no. And I'm like,
then you check the
you're
urine.
lying. I know you're lying.
But
But
says PCP.
but like, I'm just like, I tell some of them, especially the young ones, like the young kids that come in.
Yeah.
They're like, no, nothing of that.
Yeah.
I said, listen, I let them know, because sometimes it's just ignorance, right?
Yeah. Or they think jail.
I tell them exactly. I said, hey, like, I'm not the cops.
Yeah. You don't care. You
I
just
don't
want to
care
know.
what you take. I don't care what you do. I need to know, so in case something's going on,
Exactly.
we can help connect the puzzle pieces. As I said, we're not going to charge you.
Yeah,
we're not gonna call the
exactly.
cops. We can't, because it's HIPAA.
yeah,
It's HIPAA.
yeah.
And so they're like, oh, yeah, I do drink and smoke. Okay, thank you. So I want to know.
Well, that's like at the jail when they come into booking and they're acting out. We need to know, because our county, we give them something when they're coming off. All the other surrounding counties, if you're an alcoholic, a drug addict, they don't do anything for you. We do. We give you Librium and we give you Clonidine. It's like a little combination. So we ask them, we ask for the urine, and we tell them, this isn't throwing charges on you. This is to make sure we're giving you the proper treatment to help you for your withdrawals, because those are ugly.
Oh
so
my
yeah,
gosh,
then,
yes.
but after you say you're not gonna, like, even if it shows something, after you gain their trust, like, you're not gonna get more charges. You're already charged for whatever you're here. Then they're like, but some still lie. I don't do nothing in it. The whole thing's the whole drug test lit up. You're like, oh. So anyways, but yeah, I know they're just worried.
Man. So there's just, so I gotta give props to those nurses, especially labor and delivery, right?
Yeah.
Just because, at one, that's a very scary thing, because now you have two patients, mother and baby.
Anything can go wrong that you don't know.
So-
Yeah.
and you need to know your stuff.
Yeah.
But especially coming from a third world country, second world country, these nurses that are doing deliveries every single day.
Yeah.
There's this one
With the best what they have. Yeah.
There's this one nurse in India who has delivered more than 10,000 babies in her career. She just retired, 33 years long. She's had 0 deaths out of all her babies.
Really?
Never.
How cool is
And
that?
I think that's just pretty awesome. She goes, and one of her quotes says, the one thing I'm gonna miss the most is hearing the cry of a baby. Oh, she was, sorry, actual quotes. She goes, when I was about to leave for the last day, I could hear infants crying, and that was a very nice feeling.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, but can you imagine 10,000 babies? They said that she delivered like over 20 or 30 twins and only 1 triplets.
Oh, wow. And
crazy.
that's kind of.
And also reading this article, it was saying over there, like, if the maternal mortality rates is super high.
Right, yeah.
But it actually dropped because they started doing C-sections. And that's much safer for them to do a C-section versus than, having the.
Yeah.
And also, because, I know China, it's with the girls, like first off, you don't want to have girls.
Yeah.
So same thing in India over here. Like, well, not anymore really, but it says back in the 1990s, they used to do gender abortions. So they used to find out what sex they were, and they would, if it was a girl, they would abort it.
Yeah.
Well, they did so much. The government made it illegal for doctors to tell the sex of the baby to the parents.
Really?
Because of how much they were doing it. But now it's just they just do it to only they keep it two children. Well, don't get me wrong. India is freaking overflowing with a lot of people.
Yeah,
but
a lot of
they keep it to
population.
two people. Yeah. But anyways, I just want to say about this nurse.
That's cool.
She's retired, 33 years of working, and delivered over 10,000 babies.
How to end your career, right?
0 deaths. Yeah. That's pretty awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Oh man. Well, we're closing up the show. I want to say thank you for sticking with us. I said no, we kind of went way off topic than I was trying to, but it was fun though. It was fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man. So find us on Facebook, YouTube. What else we got? TikTok, I think. Yeah.
Twitter.
Twitter, I think.
I don't even know my account, my password.
Like and subscribe, share it to people, word of mouth. Like I said,
you can always shoot us an email or anything you want to hear or hear us talk about.
Email us at mercenurseshow@gmail.com. But before we leave, I'm going to leave us a quote.
Okay.
It says, "Never be afraid to trust an unknown future to a known God." So,
good one.
As a man of faith, I take this very real.
Yes.
We may not know what tomorrow may bring, but we know that God's with us. So,
yep.
That's all I got to say.
Thank you, guys.
Yep. You have a good one, guys. See you next time.
Bye.